What's going on, guys? Sean here. Welcome to this course. I'm absolutely excited to have you on board. I'm excited for you because you're about to learn Python, one of the best programming languages in the world, and you're about to become the master of computers so you can build anything you want. So I want to talk about a few important things before we start, because I want to make sure that you get the most out of this course, and also I want to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that I made when I was learning programming languages. Because if you're starting and you're not familiar with programming at all, you're just getting into it, it can be extremely confusing. It can be extremely scary because programming is a complicated subject and you need to start with really simple stuff. So I want to make sure that you know exactly how you want to use this course to learn it, and also I want to make sure that you understand a few important facts before we start, because I want to make sure by end of this course you're going to be a master of Python. You're going to be the master of programming and Python and all that stuff, so you can actually put it to use and make it very, very practical in your life. Because you could actually watch a lot of Python courses. By end of it, you're not gonna know a single Python thing. So I want to make sure in this course it's going to be very different. I want to make sure that you are going to learn Python in a way that you're going to be able to actually use it pretty quickly. All right, so a few things. When I started learning Python and programming generally, I was extremely confused because it can be extremely complicated, and it can be extremely confusing, because you could learn how to type something on a screen, but you're like, okay, how am I supposed to use that in a program? So one of the things I decided to do, because this is how I learned, because I gave up so many times when I was trying to learn programming languages, one of the things I decided to do in this course is that first I made it extremely visual, because that's how I was able to learn. Because when you actually understand how a program works in a visual way, you're going to be able to easily code, and also you're going to be able to easily debug and understand everything there is to know about that programming language. So learning visually is just the key to success when it comes to programming. All right. Another thing is that I'm going to make this course extremely interactive and fun. So we're going to be actually putting all the things that you're going to learn in each section to use. We're going to create projects like apps and web apps and stuff like that. So you're going to see actually all the skills that you're going to learn in these sections. You're going to be able to put it to use and turn it into something real, so you actually can see it live happening in front of you. So it's really, really fun, and again, fun and interactive and very visual. So that's just the best way to really learn any programming language. All right, remember that learning a programming language is pretty much like a muscle, like training a muscle. If you don't train it, it's gonna go away. And it is pretty much like that. Remember, you want to always practice your skills. And that's why, since something I'm going to emphasize as we go in every single video, is that when you see me code and when you see me do something, you want to make sure that you use the practice files that I'm going to give you and all the examples that I'm going to give you, and just code it. Just use your fingers and actually code it to memorize it, because the best way to learn something is actually doing, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you put it to practice and use, because that's the way you develop that muscle. Another thing is that programming language is learning learning an actual language, because one of the things that can happen is that you could learn Python pretty decently, but then if I drop a page of Python code in front of you, it might actually confuse you again. Because when you imagine you want to learn a language, right? You can compare it exactly to the programming language. If you want to learn a language, the first thing you learn is the grammar, and then you learn some words. Now, say I'm speaking English right now, but I don't know every single word in the English language, right? But the way I'm going to learn the words is that if I come across and have to use a certain word, I learn it and I actually put it to practice. And this is pretty much how programming language works and the way you learn it. So you're going to learn some of the important parts of a programming language, but then as you develop your skills and as you try to build certain things, you are going to expand your knowledge on that matter, and you're going to learn more and more. And this is pretty much how programming language works. So in the beginning, you might be a little bit confused about how you're going to build certain things, but then as you expand on the knowledge and as we go throughout this course, you're going to be able to learn more and more, and you're going to put all these pieces together, and we're going to, okay, so this is how you build something like this. So again, you're going to learn as you go down through the course. So it's really, really important. Just keep in mind that stay focused on what you're learning, and just make sure you put it to use. Yeah, exactly, you know, do what I do and just put it to practice and do the projects I create in the course for you with me, so that way, you know, you actually again put these skills to practice and actually learn it, because that's the best way to do it. All right. And again, you can always ask me questions if you have any questions. I would love to answer your questions if you have any, if you need any help with your code or anything like that. So just keep in mind, I'm always available to help you out. And let's get it started, because it's going to be really, really exciting, and you know, it's going to be really fun. We're going to keep it light, we're going to keep it simple and get into more advanced stuff. And by end of this course, you're going to be a master Python programmer. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you have any questions, and let's get it started.